It'd be a shame if I had to kill you if you said anything.
I told you about killing people, dude.
I want to find out what's underneath that mask.
I'm not wearing a mask. I have fur.
The stars hang bright in the sky, shining down onto a darkened landscape. On that shadowed terrain, we find a young man, an elf of some kind, sitting in grass that gently rustles in the breeze. An elderly star lancer is positioned next to him, its large, angular head resting in their lap, its breathing slow and deep. As it takes its final breath, it looks its friend deep in the eye, sharing less of thought and more of vision, the sun rising on the horizon. The man nods, his eyes misty with tears as their friend passes, leaving its old shell behind as it returns for rebirth. Its spirit flies, faster than thought, through the astral sea, eager to return to their friend. Hello, Guilders, and welcome in. I'm Tim the Wizard, your humble DM, and we're going to be playing Tales of the Riot Nexus tonight. I'm so glad you could be here. We're going to be diving right into the action, but before we do so, I want to go around and give the my party a lovely chance to introduce themselves. Dom, why don't you go first?
Hi. Hi, I'm Domino RBG. My pronouns are he, they, and I play Cal, whose pronouns are also he, they, and I think this intro was just about my character.
Get dunked on.
What if we're all being collectively dunked on and it was about
It's not
someone
actually,
else?
wait, I changed my guess. It's not Cal, it's Cal's twin that I'm convinced he has.
Yes!
Amazing. Next we have Reichgear.
Hi, I'm Reichq. Pronouns are she, her. I play Lux. Pronouns are also she, her.
Beautiful. Next we have Galaxy.
Hi, I'm Galaxy, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm playing Kite in the Wind, whose pronouns are he, they.
Fantastic. And last but certainly not least, we have Werewolf.
Hello. My name is Werewolf BF. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Lance Little. Pronouns he, him.
Beautiful. Excellent. All right. So when we last left the Riot Nexus, they had just dispatched quite a few members of the Court of Dawning, Pixies to be precise, taking out Don Cider's lieutenant while he managed to slip away, seemingly sacrificing all of his gang members in order to do so. The party managed to reclaim Helm, reclaim their good boy Doggo, and with those bodies in tow, they are heading on back to the Shambling Hounds. Their HQ, the Bleeding Briars. While they were heading back, there was a little bit of a heart-to-heart and some reveals that occurred between the Riot Nexus, as well as a new development on Helm's sensor, a large signal or something passing by, coming closer. And when we last left, the party was heading off towards the Bleeding Briar. We'll say that y'all have docked and are heading inside. As we cut to y'all, Mad Dog is there and he greets you. It looks like you've got your ship back.
Yeah,
Indeed we do.
thankfully.
It was rough, but we did it. And also did the other thing we talked about.
Excellent. Yes, I can see your bags are dripping a little bit. Yeah, follow me, and he'll lead you back down into the kind of subterranean basement underneath the Bleeding Briars, where like the lab is.
Realizing that's just a little bit indiscreet, I will prestidigitate the bag a little bit as we head forward.
Yeah, Kite like awkwardly looks at Mad Dog and is like, "We've got the things you asked for.
Excellent. And I assume the goods that I passed to y'all last time, they were distributed out and found to be helpful in maybe that encounter.
Definitely.
Indeed, they were.
Excellent. Mad Dog will kind of fall silent as there is just like kind of y'all are kind of walking down, and there's just the continuous and subtle drip of the blood, pixie blood dripping out of the bag.
Kite is following Lance and prestidigitating it.
It's not to be like morbid.
No, he's not. He doesn't have that.
Creatures. It's a lot of blood. You know, is that weird to say?
No,
No.
I think you're right. That is kind of weird that there's a lot of blood for such small creatures.
Like you're like, wow, they just keep bleeding. Anyway, we're prestidigitating the back as we go.
Yeah, Kite's not. Apparently Kite actually does not have that cantrip. I'm wrong, but
Oh, you're good. I can do it.
Amazing. Mad Dog will say, "Oh yeah, I appreciate that. You know, keeping, you know, we're trying to run a little bit of a secretive operation, leaving bioorganic material around like that. It's more than a little bit of a clue as to what we're up to here. So thank you." He takes you down into the lab, like not the behind the scenes lab, but still in the kind of first section where there are several Shambling Hounds gang members kind of milling about. And he points you over to kind of like an examination table, and he says, "You can place all the corpses over there."
okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll go do that.
I'm currently, as you're kind of as y'all are kind of placing the bodies out, he'll kind of just mention in passing, since we obviously have, this has been such an event. Also, how many bodies do you have? I would love to. I believe we said 50 gold per body.
I think it ended up being 7 bodies.
I
Excellent.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Excellent. Buglos, and you see Buglos is in here. And Buglos says, "Yeah, boss. Go and fetch our lovely companions here. 350 gold pieces, or would you prefer 35 platinum?
The gold pieces, thank you.
350 gold for the Riot Nexus here." And Buglos will give him a little salute with all 4 arms, and he'll run off.
All 4?
Yeah, he's got 4 arms.
Yeah, he's a
No,
little
I'm just
bug guy.
that's a wild salute. Like you're saluting. That's like saluting
Oh,
with
yeah.
both arms.
He salutes with both arms at the same time, both sets of arms. He's just
Like
at one point
stacked on both sides, like hand.
That's so wild.
I'm also thinking you could do the Diamond Authority salute pretty easy if you have 4 hands.
True.
Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. So Mad Dog will say, "It seems like the situation has been found to be helpful, and while I don't have another job for you just yet, there's always something going on around this place, and I am working on something in regards to the patient that I think will be helpful. I've got an idea. I'm still fleshing out leads for it, but
Do you think that whatever that idea might be would be ready in or at least something to work with in the next maybe 12 hours?
potentially, he'll kind of appraise you guys, and then he'll kind of shrug to himself, and he says, "I'm thinking about my patient is deteriorating quickly, and as I'm sure y'all are aware as spacefarers, time passes in a weirder manner out here in the astral sea, and as a result, time is kind of I'm seeking to get more time in order to be able to help slow the deterioration of the patient. There are a couple of interesting Magitech applications that I could be using for this. I'm currently looking into seeing something, potentially something having to do with the Bellowing Mountains as an inn. But is there a reaction from Kite as he mentions this?
I think there is, but it is like a twitch of his ears, like in the way that you feel your ear perk up sometimes when someone says your name. It looks like akin to that, only it's just like more exaggerated because his ears are cat ears and on the top of his head and like satelliting around.
Go ahead and give me just a straight deception check.
Okay. Nat 20.
Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
Incredible.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So
Right.
the total is high. No, it's not. It's just a straight 20.
Nice. Kite, what is it like? How do you manage to like? What does it look like as you cover up this like involuntary like motion as you see like the movement has like definitely alerts Mad Dog's gaze. So what do you do in order to like circumvent, in order to subvert him?
I think he kind of makes direct-ish eye contact for a moment, as if he is just like turning his attention back to Mad Dog, since Mad Dog is like talking to us. You know? Like in that way that like when someone's like in the front of a group talking, you'll like zone out and look other places, and then you'll just like, oh right, I should be paying attention to this, and like look back. He kind of tries to make it feel like that.
Oh, absolutely. And you're so on the ball in this moment that it does like you perfectly mimic it, and his gaze continues past like his focus departs from you. And he'll continue on potentially in the next 12 hours, but I'm still running down the best potential leads at the moment. At this point, I think everybody in the group, if you want, you can make a history check as he's kind of mentioning about time dilations.
Oh god, I just nearly knocked my water over. I'm good.
Please don't knock your water over.
It's got a lid, but
I think that Lux right now is not really paying much attention to this conversation. Instead, she's been counting this whole time.
But you focus on their Lux.
She's thinking about the Shar outpost that she was told to destroy, and she's counting the time. Because she's feeling the pressure now. Calculating what she would do as a backup. How long will this take? How long will it take to get there with the Astral Sea time shenanigans involved?
Excellent. Yes. With Lux being lost in thought, focusing on their next goal, the rest of the party, I'm gonna say, Kite, you definitely like what they're asking for. Basically, sounds like high-level magitech that the Bellowing Mountains would definitely have, and they would not just give it to people, right? Like this sounds like something that would be used in construction or potentially like on higher class starships and stuff like that. Like this does not seem. This seems like it's a pretty kind of rare thing to use. Yeah.
Kite, when he hears it, he'll kind of tilt his head in a I'm interested kind of way, like almost like maybe this is just something that he's kind of like is a hobby or he likes or whatever, and he'll be like, where did you get access to something like that through the Billowing Mountains? Who was your contact?
Well, it's less about access and more about information, I guess. You hear a lot of things out here in Foul Heaven, and sometimes you act on that information and when the opportunity presents itself. Obviously, I prefer to go through legal channels, but here we are.
That was such a weird dodge. Sorry, that was me, not Kite. Kite, like, thinks about that for a moment and then goes, yeah, but I mean, who was your contact for that information? That seems like quite the thing for the Billowing Mountains to be letting slip. Seems a little unsafe, doesn't it? Right?
You are absolutely correct in your risk assessment. That is definitely true. It's an unfortunate risk that is becoming more necessary as time has progressed. This naturally has been something that has been a potential option for quite some time. It's just now the opportunity has presented itself for it to be more than just a theoretical application. That being said, it is naturally with extremely high risk regarding it. It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Kite thinks for a moment. Can he make an insight check of like, or maybe this would be a history check for him, of like who in the Billowing Mountains would be involved in this type of magitech and like handling this type of information?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna say make a history check.
Yeah, I said insight at first, and I was like, wait, no, I should make a history check. Oh boy, that was a 13.
I don't think you're sure explicitly like where these kinds of time dilation engines come from.
Okay.
You know that there is like a specific sub company inside of the Bellowing Mountains that does a lot of the like core production for aspects of them, but then they are like distributed out to different projects that the Bellowing Mountains then creates, right? Like,
Okay.
And those engines can be bought, but they are usually incredibly expensive and rare, right? Like they're not just something that is like given away. They usually have high security and such associated with them, right?
Yeah. Okay.
For Lance and Cal, I'm gonna say you both have similar. You've both been spacefarers for quite a while. And Cal, this isn't even your first time being in Respite. You know that, like, simple axiom of astral travel, the bigger your ship, the faster time travels for you, relatively. So if you're on a planet, time travels at a regular rate and you age normally and crops can grow and stuff like that. But if you're floating in space and the mass of your ship just isn't big enough, your plants won't grow. So this has been an active issue in Respite for basically, and space travel in general, for as long as it's kind of been around. And you know that they have made, like, to the Bellowing Mountains' chagrin and distaste, people have been able to jury rig and create unauthorized dilation engines in order to facilitate crops and things of that nature. And I'm going to say, Cal, with your 21, you think it might be more than likely that Valheaven probably has at least one time dilation engine happening, like in place somewhere in the city.
Cal furrows his brow. And he thinks, and he, well, I'm sure there's at least one place here in the city that has a time dilation engine.
Do you say that out loud?
He kind of like mutters it under his breath. But it would be audible to people that might be paying attention.
And we're still with it's the four of us and then the person who had the contact. Yeah, Mad Dog.
Yeah, Mad
Dog.
Dog.
We like in the basement still?
Yeah, there are a few other like gang members kind of walking around, but they're kind of doing their own thing, and y'all are kind of just off talking. And they also, Mad Dog is like the boss, so they know like to give him space, especially when he's talking with people. Now that is interesting. Of course, I had theorized that there might be a dilation engine out here in Valheaven. The amount of produce and food that gets created in this place, it's more than what they take in trade, right? Or in stolen goods. So they have to be producing it somewhere. However, and this is where it becomes even more morally questionable, is if we were to liberate a device of that nature from somebody else in Valheaven, that also could potentially be taking food out of people's mouths.
I don't think it would be potentially taking food out of people's mouths. I think it definitely would be. You'd essentially be upsetting the ecosystem of Valheaven.
Correct. However, the ecosystem may be upset regardless by my presence here. And he shrugs. The patient, I don't know how far-reaching whatever is going on with him might become. It's the reason why the containment is as strong as it is. Now, I believe Werewolf, or I believe Lance and Lux, y'all weren't here for this. Y'all have not met the patient yet, correct?
We have not met the patient, but I do
No.
believe we discussed like what was up with the patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
About how they were, clown.
No. This is a different
No.
patient. This patient
Yeah.
is the one whose arm is fractalizing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think we did.
Yeah,
I don't think we
we
did.
I don't think we
even
met them, but I
talked about
think
that.
didn't Cal and Kite see them?
Yeah, Cal
Cal
and
and
Kite
Kite
did.
saw them, and then also Cal and Kite, when we caught back up with Lance and Lux, we were like, so anyway, after you guys ran off, like, we got the lowdown from Mad Dog, and like, this is what was happening.
Yeah.
So like, they did break it down to them. They just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is a problem for another day. I assume you are probably tired. Let me. Would you like to stay the night? I would be more than happy to give you quarters to rest in. Not to be rude, but it does look like some of y'all got beat pretty hard.
Thank you for saying it so kindly. Yes, I definitely think that a nice evening's rest would be nice.
Excellent. Yes, I will go ahead and make some bed ups for you. What is Lux's reaction as Mad Dog is proposing staying the night and Lance is chiming in? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Lux is. I think she's like, you guys can do what you want, but I have to go.
I was thinking sleeping on the ship. Was he offering sleeping here at the bar?
He was offering sleeping
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think, kind of seeing the energy, I think Lance goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I actually realized that I needed to work on an equation back in my room with my whiteboard. So I think that I probably will need to sleep on the ship. Would anyone like to accompany me?"
It's like I think I want to stay with the ship after it has just gotten stolen. I don't really want that to happen again.
Yeah, we've got some other important things to do and discuss.
Of course. I mean, you say no more. I hear whiteboard and equations. He puts his hand up like he surrenders, right? Of course. Yeah.
Could I do an insight check on him?
Sure, absolutely.
Does that feel weird to anyone else?
No.
Well, okay, so to describe Mad Dog once more. Mad Dog is a slender orcish man who is wearing a fine suit. He has kind of like lankier figures, kind of like got that ectomorph kind of vibe, but he has these two huge, like bigger than gorilla arms coming out of his back from his like shoulder plates and like extending out around him, like curling around like big gorilla arms. And he wears a full like almost like a plate helmet, a mask that is in the snarling expression of a dog.
Yeah. No,
He is, however, a man of science.
Science. He is a doctor, goddammit.
Yeah, when Timbo asked if anyone else felt any way about him offering to stay here, I suddenly became very suspicious.
We can insight on him, like we can do
No,
this.
yeah, I want you to do that because I don't know, something about this guy. Every
Could I
time
have
I
help
talk
from
to him,
Lady?
he's so weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll that with advantage.
of 14.
The mask is just inscrutable, but by the sound and timbre of his voice and his hand motions, he does sound like he's just trying to be a gracious host.
Best that ever was, some would say.
Well, in that case, I think I'll start heading back to the ship. If anyone else wants to come with.
As y'all are heading out,
I'd follow.
as y'all are heading out of the door, Mad Dog goes, "Cal, 1 second." And he moves up to you and he puts something into your hand. As you look at it, Cal, it is the chamber of a revolver and a single onyx black bullet. And
Ooh.
and he goes, before she left, Sunset Eclipse wanted me to give this to you. She said something about, she wanted me to give this to you. She said something about wanting to give it back, and he shrugs.
Cal raises an eyebrow.
This
And
is advanced flirting.
He squints. He's very he's so confused. As a matter of fact, he's going to inspect this chamber like right now.
Sure, go on and make an Arcana check.
Let's go. Got a 19.
A 19. The thing is definitely magical. It is like kind of radiating you feel it almost radiating like kind of like what Kite's magic feels like, almost like time energy. As you are doing so, you also feel it radiating from the onyx black bullet, and you feel somehow that they are linked.
He brings the chamber to his nose and he sniffs it.
It smells like it has been well oiled and well maintained, but it also smells like it has been fired recently.
Huh.
Can anyone else see this?
To see him just sniff this chamber of this gun?
No,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, like the onyx color, onyx bullet. Can anybody else see it in the party?
Go ahead and make perception checks as y'all are kind of moving out. Yeah, the chamber and the bullet, they're the same type of metal. They're both like onyx black.
Kite doesn't see anything. He rolled an at one.
Oh, Kite buddy.
He's got things on his mind.
He doesn't even
Pissed.
he doesn't even hear Mad Dog call back for Cal. Kite is running out the door.
Yeah.
27, baby.
Lex, you see the onyx black bullet glint off the light in the basement.
Does this match the description of the onyx kinkrel that she heard about when she was listening around Valheaven?
I'm gonna say yes. It does match that description.
Whoa. Interesting.
I mean, you got a 27 on that perception score. You rolled a 19. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I have to go back to my notes. Anyway, we can keep going.
Closes his hand around the chamber. He, nods and thanks Mad Dog, but he's so confused. What does she mean, give this back? He has no memory of owning this ever. And it's been used and, well, it doesn't even smell like him. So he's confused, but he's going to accept this and he's going to act like oh yeah, get that back. And he's going to follow the rest of the crew to the ship.